Boys, welcome back to the channel. Damn, I sound bunged up. As you can probably tell, if you caught yesterday's video, you'll have seen that I was on the sort of way down of a bit of a sniffle. I'll be real, I thought I'd hit the bottom yesterday, but the world opened up a new portal to hell to me overnight, and I'm just, I ain't good. I ain't good, but I am Mr. Consistent, so I'm here, I'm turning up. Hashtag disciplined. Let's get it done. And you know what's mad is today's video, which I planned for a while, super short one, and hopefully a really valuable one for a lot of people, because we're going to be talking about sleep. We're going to be talking about how to get better sleep, because I think this is one of the main things that whether you're a man, you're a woman, you're young, you're old, a heck of a lot of people all over the world, regardless of their race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, pronouns, whatever else there is, a lot of people suffer from this. But I've invented a rule. It's called the 3-2-1 rule. And it's a very quick fire, easy way to pretty much guarantee that you're going to improve your sleep quality. Because I think a lot of people focus on sleep quantity. They're like, oh yeah, I just need to get my 7 hours of sleep a night. And then in the last couple of years, the last few years, with things like Whoop is a good example, has come out, and a lot more people have become a bit more aware of like optimizing their sleep quality as well as their sleep quantity. And with that, a lot of people are now realizing that just getting your 7 hours of sleep, whilst that is very important, and being consistent with that and going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time and all that good stuff, what's far more important is the sleep quality. Because you can sleep 7 hours a night every single night, but if you're waking up and you're not feeling refreshed, what's the point? Because if you're not feeling refreshed, if you're not feeling ready to attack the day, then you are just by law, even if you are hashtag motivated and hashtag disciplined, over a long enough time horizon, you are just going to get less done than other people. You are going to become more uncompetitive. You're going to fall behind. You're just going to feel worse generally in yourself. And no one wants that. And I don't want that for you guys. So what is the 3-2-1 rule? How do you do it? Blah, blah, blah. Well, the good news is it is super simple. It is 3 principles. And these are things that anybody can do. The only thing that would stop you from doing them is you. And yeah, let's just get straight into it, get stuck into it. I'll give a brief explanation to each one, and then I'll leave you there. And hopefully you can implement this from tonight, and you can wake up tomorrow and you feel a little bit better in yourself. So the 3 in the 3-2-1 rule is all around food. Basically, if you can, what I have done and found huge results from is stopping eating for 3 hours before I go to bed, before I try to go to sleep. And the reason is for this is that digestion is a metabolic process. And what that means is any process is metabolic. It means that it requires calories to complete that process. And so as a result of it requiring calories, it raises your heart rate. And sleep is something that we achieve, particularly high quality sleep, when our heart rate is lowered. Think about if you're trying to sleep when you've been drinking, right? Your resting heart rate is, it's not resting, it's super high. And that's why sleep quality, when you wake up after the morning after the night before, you feel awful because you haven't really been asleep. So digestion doesn't cause as much of a metabolic response as alcohol does, but it still raises your heart rate. I'm really sorry, I sound awful, I'm aware, but Mr. Consistent, we're here every single day, 100 days in a row, let's fucking go. And so if you stop eating for 3 hours before you go to bed, you're giving your body a better chance of basically just digesting your dinner, of finishing that digestion process. Now, a lot of people, and then as a result, you're letting your heart rate settle back to a more normal resting level. Now, a lot of people will come to me and they'll say, yeah, but Doug, what about my intermittent fasting protocol? Great, intermittent fasting is a pretty well proven way of increasing adherence to a calorie deficit, and as a result of that, putting you in a calorie deficit and helping you to lose body fat. What I would suggest you do anyway is to move that intermittent fasting window forward into the day so that you're starting it earlier and finishing it earlier. Because underneath that principle, above the method of intermittent fasting is creating calorie deficit, right? It is just one method, one way of doing that. But what you're not considering is if you're eating late into the night, you're going to be compromising your sleep quality. And as a result there, you're going to be waking up less refreshed and hungrier. So it's going to be harder to adhere to it over a longer period of time. So that's number 3. That's the third. That's the You know what? I just want to lie down, man. That's the 3 in 3, 2, 1. 2 is not to drink anything 2 hours before you go to bed. And this one, again, pretty straightforward. But the logic around this is that when you go for your bedtime pee, you're going to empty your bladder as much as possible, which means it's going to stop you, or hopefully stop you, from waking up in the night. This was a huge one for me. As I went from my 20s to my 30s, I don't know the physiology around it. I don't know if your bladder gets more sensitive or it gets smaller. Maybe someone who's a urologist can leave a comment and let me know. If you don't know, don't throw your pseudoscience in the comments. I don't care. I could guess as well. If you're an actual urologist or you know about this sort of stuff, if you're geek out on bladders, I don't know. Let me know in the comments because I'd be interested, and I'm sure other people would be too. But yeah, I don't know if it's your bladder shrinking as you get older or you get more sensitive, but I found that I was waking up 2-3 times a night and it sucked. So what I found, super simple thing, well, if I just stop drinking, earlier in the evening, there I'm not going to wake up. I'm going to wake up feeling more refreshed. And actually, it's much easier than you think. I drink a lot of water, and I thought this was going to be really hard. But drinking water, whether you drink too much or too little, it's a habit like anything else. And now I pretty much stop drinking from pretty much as soon as I finish my dinner. I'll have a drink of water with my dinner, and then I'll stop, and then that'll pretty much be it. Maybe I'll have a little sip here or there. Obviously right now, rule doesn't apply to me because I'm ill, so I am drinking as much water as possible. And actually last night, it's interesting because I am so ill and clearly my body needs the hydration. Didn't wake up once in the night, slept right through. But I think if you're healthy and you're fit, particularly if you've got a low amount of body fat and you've got less glycogen and less ability to hold on to the water in fat cells, the water's just going to go straight through you. So yeah, that's a big one. And then the last one, which is probably the one that people are going to struggle with the most, but may have the most profound effect, and I think is probably the reason that the most people are struggling more with sleep now than they were before, is screens. It's, whether it's your TV, whether it's your phone, whether it's your laptop, your iPad, whatever it might be, trying to come off your screen an hour before bed. Now, I am not perfect with this one. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm smashing this, because this is hard. Sometimes end of the day, you just want to stick some Netflix on or a podcast and just watch some YouTube or whatever and just relax. And I get it. But if you have gone through a period of time, this is the last one I would get rid of, right? If you've gone through a period of time where you're really struggling with your sleep, just do this for 1 or 2 nights and you'll notice a profound difference. And it's worth it, man. Because then you feel amazing and you're like, you know what? I feel good from this. I'm glad I did it. And actually, maybe it's not something I'm going to do every day. But if I know I've got a big day tomorrow, or I'm not feeling my best, then you know what? Maybe I'm going to resist that temptation, resist that dopamine, and come off those screens. So yeah, guys, that is the 3-2-1 rule. Like I say, super straightforward, super simple. These are disciplines that anybody can implement. There's no reason why you couldn't. And I strongly advise you to just give it a go. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Give it a go for a couple of nights, see if you notice any difference. And if you do, happy days. It's something that you could lean into. If you don't, then go back to your old life. And what have you lost? 8.5 minutes. So I'll leave you there. Send prayers for me. I am the sick man of Europe. But I do actually think, touch wood, that I've hit the bottom now. And from tomorrow, you will see me back at my absolute best. So I'm looking forward to that, because you know what they say, a healthy man wants everything, an unhealthy man just wants to feel healthy again. And I just want to be able to breathe again, man. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good one.